Hello, it's Sheba here, and I'm here for Motivation Mondays by Masala Arts. Um, Sorry for being away for a long time. Kindly check on my previous video that I posted on Friday to learn why I had to be absent for such a long time. But I'm back, and I'll be posting as regularly as promised in the said video. For those who are new here, you're welcome here. Welcome to the family. For those who are members of the family already, you also deserve a welcome. I welcome you every time. Thank you for being part of Marcella Art family. Let's continue growing together. As a part of our mantra on Mondays, we keep it Grail Power. We grow together, we recover together, we aspire together, we inspire each other, and most importantly, we learn. This will be part of a new normal, seeing my face more often. And I'm sorry I didn't make a follow-up video of True Boss Moves as promised. This will be that follow-up video. This is a part 2 of True Boss Moves. The first part I will target somewhere around here, and you can refer to that so you can come back to part 2 if you're not familiar with what was spoken about in part 1. But just a quick recap. Part 1 was how to be a true leader is 1, by inspiring your team. The second bit of how to be a true leader, which we're covering today, is motivating your team. And I'll give a few points. I'll be making references to my notebook here, and I hope you'll be okay with that. These are some of the points of how you can motivate your team so that you can build better results, so that you can grow together. Here we grow, and we're bosses. I'd like to believe I'm a boss. Are you a boss? Are you a true boss? Stick around to the end to find out if you're a boss, a true boss at that. There's a difference between a boss and a leader, which we pointed out in the first part of True Boss Moves. So find out if you're a true boss or just a boss. True bosses are leaders. Kindly refer to that video to get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. So I'd like to start on the first point of how you can motivate your team for growth and for progress. The first point on how you can motivate your team is create a teamwork friendly environment. Most of the team invests their time, their resources, their energy, their entire vibe into the work. So you really need to create a good environment for them to work in, for them to feel like they need to be a team. When you're a boss, you're the one that creates the environment. Then they when they come to this environment, that's when they put in all their energies towards growing the project you're working on, the objectives you're working towards. So create a teamwork friendly environment. Don't make it look like you're working on your own, they're working on their own individually. It should be a team effort so that the objectives that you have set are met in a collective way. That this way they have a clear picture of where you're working towards in the first place. The second point of how you motivate your team is acknowledge good work in progress. No one wants to work where they're not appreciated, where they're not, no one acknowledges when they make an extra effort, when they give their best. Everyone wants to be acknowledged when they give their best, when they put in the work towards the objective. So whenever you see good work has been done, progress has been made, don't be mean. Give that compliment to that employee, to that team. Just drop compliments accordingly. Don't be mean with those. Just be fair and acknowledge when good work is done. I'm not saying that you should not say when there's no work being done. Yeah, you should say that too. But whenever someone is encouraged, whenever someone is told good work was done or progress was made, they get a new energy, a new boost to like put in extra effort tomorrow, because someone somewhere is noticing what they're doing. And that's what true boss moves is all about. That's what a leader is being about. You acknowledge when good has been done, but also acknowledge when not so good has been done. Just have a balance towards it. People are motivated when you actually notice where they are driving their energies towards. When you count it as a normal or as doesn't matter anyway, they are not encouraged, they are not motivated to put in the effort next time. So as part of motivating your team, acknowledge their good work. The third point is foster positive competition. There's positive competition and there's negative competition. Negative competition is the kind of competition that people work towards putting each other down, which is not the way to go. People should be happy for each other within the team. When someone is growing within the team, even as an individual or as a whole team, that competition is healthy. The competition that leads to growth, that leads to general uplifting of the entire team, that is positive competition. Positive competition should be fostered, where you encourage people to get positive appraisal reports and such a kind of thing. When you tell peers to like uh, rate each other, they should not see that as a means to bring each other down. Instead, they should use that as an opportunity to see that this so and so is working hard at this. What can I do to bring more into the team? And use that as a way of motivating them to be more, so that next time they put in more effort, so that they can build the team and build themselves as individuals. Positive competition is fostered by, maybe you have an end of year award ceremony of some sort. When you award someone that has been genuinely working hard, you're creating a competitive spirit among the peers of this person. um, by this positive competitive spirit, next year they want the same reward or a bigger reward, so they'll put in more effort towards the same. And being a leader is actually giving these awards fairly. As we've said in the previous point, we should acknowledge good work in progress, and this should also be done fairly, not in a biased way. Instead, you should be fair when you're at it. Otherwise, the competition will turn south to become something totally negative, and no one wants negative competition in their team. The next point is have a positive upward, downward, and across communication. By upward communication, I mean let me use employees, or maybe the ones in a lower position in the team. They should be comfortable, they should be free while communicating to their superiors, and vice versa. The superiors should also communicate to the people beneath them in a very respectful manner. When there's that chain of respect, upward, downward, and among peers, people in the same level of category, like same department or something, um, when there's that respect while communicating, people are motivated to actually work as a team. When people don't see their bosses as objects to be feared, or maybe the bosses should not consider their minors as inferiors. When everyone is seeing each other as a team builder, you're more likely to gain positive results out of the team. So as a leader, true boss, as a true boss, you should foster a good upward, downward, and across communication. When you set this as a base where everyone respects each other, you're more likely to gain results in your objectives. The next point is set an example worth emulating. You can't be preaching water and drinking wine. You can't. Is that what you say? I think so. You can't preach water and drink wine. Yeah, that sounds right. So, as a leader, be what you want your team to be. You can't tell them to come to work dressed in official when you're showing up dressed otherwise. They need an example to copy from. They need you to be that perfection that they are striving towards. I'm not saying don't be human. We are all human. We make mistakes here and there. So you can't really be perfect. We're not God. So be that example worth emulating. Be an epitome. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but be who you want them to be. They look at you and copy, because that's what people in the lower positions are wired to do. Like, they copy what is ahead of them because they're striving to work in that direction. The next point is encourage creativity. How do you do this? You encourage ideas from all corners. You set up environments and arenas where your employees are, let me use employees, or maybe the rest of your team. It's not always that leaders are leading employees. Sometimes it's just a team for a project. So whenever you're a leader, create an environment where creativity is allowed. I'm not saying you should tolerate everything. Just allow suggestions, allow opinions, allow people to give their input towards the project. Hear them out. Sometimes we're not perfect. Sometimes that person you're shutting out is the person who has the easiest, the fastest, or maybe the better solution to what you're working on. So it's good to create an environment where you hear out what the rest of the team has to say. This encourages them to be creative. When maybe you tell them this is what is on the table, um, tomorrow we'll be holding a meeting, come with ideas on how you think we can handle this. When you do this, they go thinking about it. They bring their input towards the project, and this way you're more likely to get a good outcome than if you came up with the idea solo and you're driving the idea to them. You're like pushing it on them. They won't really bring their A game to that. When they know part of the idea is like coming from them, was generated by them or by one of them, they appreciate the idea more. They put in more work towards it because they feel like they're part of the project more. So encourage a creativity space. There might not be room for everyone's idea to be implemented, but make the space feel safe for them to be creative. If today you use this person's idea, next time you use another person's idea, they'll know that it's not a biased way of choosing creativity spots. Like, it's just everyone was just giving their best shot. Make them vote for the best idea, and this way you'll encourage someone to come up with something better next time. If maybe their idea was not taken in this time, they'll not take it personal. They'll just know someone else just brought something better to the table. And when we get back to the point on competition, this is a positive competition. They'll strive towards bringing something better to the table next time. The last but not the least point is have off-work bonding times. All work and no play just makes Jack a dull boy. That's a very commonly used saying, but it's mostly said than done, honestly. Bosses expect, uh, yeah, bosses expect the ones under them, or employees for that matter, to always be on work mode. No one is always on work mode. There's always this time when their productivity is just so low, and you can blame it on them. It's just human nature. We're not machines. We're bound to get bored. We're bound to get tired. So when you create an off work bonding times, like maybe you have retreats, you have trips, you have maybe some weekend activities to do together. Maybe it's a teamwork kind of building teamwork. You can go on teamwork activities and stuff like that. You can have all sorts of activities. You can maybe have like a talent show organized by the organization or something. As a leader, just get creative on how to create bonding for the team off work. This way they are more likely to actually bond even when they are working, because they created the bond. Even when they are outside work, they have that personal communication, personal connection. They're more likely to actually work better together than when they're just on work, when someone else is having their own work frustration, their own home frustrations. They come taking it out on the rest of the team. That's not right. When they are bonding off work, they are more likely to understand each other better on a personal note. And when they understand each other, each other's weaknesses, each other's strengths, each other's way of operating, communicating. Some might bond to the extent of knowing each other's personal life, which is fine as long as it's not interfering with the work life. That's allowed. So if they know each other on grounds that are outside work, they're more likely to actually work better together. When they are working, they'll work with some understanding spirit within them. So with that said and done, are you a boss? Are you a true boss? And by true boss, I mean, are you a leader? There's a difference between being a boss and a leader. And um, if you're following these steps towards your team, the team you're working with, both combined part one and this part two, you're more likely to be a leader. You might have missed on some parts, or maybe I missed on including some parts. I don't know all qualities of a leader, of course, but this is the much I could come up with. So we should all strive towards being true bosses. By true bosses, I mean you need to strive towards being a leader. A boss just calls shots and doesn't care about people being a team, doesn't care about the welfare of his team and stuff. So there is more to being a leader than the workspace. You need to be all inclusive, like be concerned about people's health, people's spiritual life, people's social life, be all round. So this being the last part of True Boss Moves, I'd like to hope that all of us will work towards growing, towards recovery, towards aspiring, towards inspiring each other, and towards learning more ways on how to be true bosses. Thank you for sticking around to the very end. I'm sorry this was a very long video, but I'm hoping this was good motivation for those striving towards being true bosses out there. And with that said and done, do not forget to like, to share, drop some comments, subscribe. I love you. God loves you. God got us all. Real power to the end. Grow, recover, aspire, inspire, and learn. Bye.